A released WWE veteran could be joining AEW. Plus, a WWE Hall of Famer slams a change to WrestleMania 40, and Triple H teases some big plans for after WrestleMania 40. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. So over the weekend, Max Caster just went heel on Twitter. Started going at everybody. It was all inspired after rumours began circulating about Shelton Benjamin being AEW bound. Something that Max Caster was not particularly a fan of. Well, Benjamin talked about that a bit, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He was a guest on the For the Love of Wrestling podcast yesterday and addressed that AEW speculation and said, as far as AEW goes, that door's open. My door's open. I haven't eliminated any possibilities as of yet. The ball is really in their court. Benjamin then later added regarding AEW, it's pro wrestling, so you never know what's going to happen.
It's
now,
what we want to happen.
It's what we want to happen. Prior to those comments, Benjamin had spoken excitedly about the possibility of facing new AEW signing Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay. He said, Okada, while I've worked alongside of him in New Japan, we never actually had a match, so I would love to work with Okada. Obviously, I would love to work with Will Ospreay because I think that guy's phenomenal. I've been watching him for years. People call me athletic, but he does stuff that I couldn't even. It would put me in traction to even try some of the moves he does, but I would love to work with him. I think it could be a lot of fun.
I think if Shelton Benjamin fits anywhere in the wrestling landscape, that wasn't for effect, I just had to clear my throat. Either, right, TNA.
Yes.
I want to put that out there because that's very much a work rate kind of place right now. And I think Shelton, even for just a small run in TNA, would be lovely. But you know what? AEW and Shelton Benjamin, that's a nice combo.
I agree as well.
A company that's built around, having these banger matches week by week, and Shelton is a banger match machine.
He is, and he proves that quite regularly alongside Cedric Alexander as well. It was a shame that we never got more of that towards the latter stages of his WWE career. But yeah, just letting him go out there and have these matches and show that he can still go, which I absolutely, without a doubt, assume he still can. TNA was sort of my first thought when we heard he'd got released, and I was like, it seems like a perfect fit for that at the moment with everything that's going on, all the momentum behind that company too. But AEW, I'd love to see him against Will Ospreay. Would be, oh my god, amazing. And you're right, I think he seems like the kind of person that you get in the ring with someone as talented as Will Ospreay, and I feel like it would just push Shelton to be even better than he already is as well.
Even better?
Even better than he already is.
What? That's wildness. It's a big night for AEW tonight. It is big business. The TD Gardens in Boston. Let's take a look at the big business card. Here it is. There you go. It's arguably too big because
I think it's the right amount of big.
I would not fit in my top pocket is the problem. That's my only issue. Let's also look at the lineup for big business tonight. We're going to see the new Elite, Kazuchika Okada and the Young Bucks take on Penta, Eddie Kingston, and the returning Geordie Pack.
Oh, that's going to be a banger. We've got Willow Nightingale versus Riho.
Darby Allin going up against Jay White.
His last match for a little while, isn't it? Before he goes and climbs up Mount Everest.
First Darby Allin versus lack of oxygen at the top of Everest.
We have Chris Jericho and Hook versus the Gates of Agony.
And how's this for a bit of beef? Meaty main event. It's Samoa Joe defending the AEW World title against Wardlow. And we are expected tonight to see the AEW debut of Mercedes Moné. This comes after months of hype around the possibility of her signing with All Elite Wrestling back at the start of the year. She's definitely not going to be there.
We're in Boston, though, aren't we? This is big business, though. What does Mercedes business? Money makes business.
Money makes the world go round.
It sure does, yeah.
The Mighty Boss Tones could be a reunion gig.
It could be.
You ever thought about that?
I can't think of else.
The Boston who sang "More Than a Feeling," and I see Marianne walk away. It could be Boston.
It could be Boston
with a spelling error. I'm buzzing for Dynamite tonight. I think it's going to be a really special one.
Very packed card. Really looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing Pac back proper. Pac back. Looking forward to seeing what Darby Allin and Jay White cook up as well. Obviously, the AEW Championship match is going to be good. Wardlow. feel bad for you, Wardlow. Because I don't know if you're going to do it, buddy. I'm really sorry. I kind of hope you do, but
Do you
it'll
think
be
wear
very
his
cool.
new T-shirt now, like his little crop top? That's
Maybe, yeah.
It's a strong look.
Yeah,
Hey.
it is a strong look for a strong boy.
Strong
and then
look.
Mercedes, obviously, I think it's going to be really cool to see her again.
Does Monet square straight up to Tony Storm and go, "Hey, give us that belt"?
I reckon, yeah.
Yeah, straight for the top.
Yep, why not?
Chop to the top.
Why not?
That's how we do it. In WWE world, meanwhile, a change to WrestleMania. Oh, it's upset some fans online and a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so on SmackDown, Logan Paul revealed obviously that Prime would be featured on the canvas at WWE PLEs going forward, which is a major new marketing strategy by WWE. The announcement, however, was met with a lot of frustration by long-term fans. One fan created a series of images, and they were really good. They did a really good job with them. One fan created a series of images showing what iconic WWE moments would look like with the Prime logo branding on the canvas. Now, among those images was a shot of Mankind after being thrown through the cell in a Hell in a Cell match by The Undertaker with the Prime logo on the canvas. He's just flat out on the bottom,
writhing around in the prime.
Mick Foley shared this image as well on his Instagram with the caption, just please don't.
Everyone's been very cross about this because it's something that WWE has never truly done.
Delved into before, yeah.
It's been done in wrestling before. WCW had Slim Jim logos out the wazoo for many, many years. And I know like a lot of UFC, obviously UFC does it with the big monster logo in the middle in past events. Loads of companies have done it. It's a very common practice. I think a lot of people think that the issue is that the Prime bottle's very garish.
And that's the thing as well, because I was thinking about it and I was just like, the stuff in WCW never really bothered me. Well, it didn't bother me at all. I kind of never sort of took that into account when I was watching the wrestling. But yes, you are right. I do feel like the logo itself at the moment, maybe it changes down the line as well. Maybe it was just there to like be like, this is going to be a thing going forward, but they change it up a little bit.
Of the opacity, maybe.
Yeah. Just sort of dull down a little bit. Yeah. It is very garish, as you said. But yeah, I mean, things can change between now and then, can't they?
They can. And also, I think a few people aired concerns because it's printed on top of the ring canvas, that it could potentially be a slip or trip hazard
for
the wrestlers. I think that there's been some that have been badly done in the past where that has been an issue, where that's kind of happened. That was another concern by people. But Logan Paul responded to some of the backlash online on his podcast, Impulsive, and he said, it's more positive reviews, but I think the die-hard wrestling fans are really upset. It's never been done, and Vince was always really protective of the mat and not putting any brands on it. But in this new era, which it is, no matter how you cut it, TKO is a publicly traded company. They have to meet a bottom line. That spot was going to be sold. We saw an opportunity and potentially an opportunity to make people hate me even more because I am a heel. That's the kind of angle I took. F you all. I'm going to stamp everything about this with me so you're reminded of just what my aim is, to take over. If we don't have that spot forever, who knows? It'll be someone else. I promise if you're a diehard WWE fan, you will forget about it. It'll start to be standard practice and I don't think it'll be as distracting as you all think.
And I sort of agree with that as well in terms of that because it is new for us to see within WWE. It does feel a little bit jarring at the moment, but you know, with a lot of things we do eventually come to just not notice these things. I feel like
you get used to it.
Yeah, some might argue that, you know, maybe they should just keep the branding stuff to the LED strip things along the barricade, maybe, which also that would be fine too. They've done it with cinnamon toast crunch before. But yeah, I think it sort of fits in with his heel personality at the moment, as he was talking about here too. I think because it is very garish, it feels like a very heel thing to do.
Do you know what I'm really glad they didn't do?
What?
You know, when you watch the football, the soccer, if you're wrong.
Yeah.
And they have those signs that are printed in such a way
that it looks 3D.
When the hard cam looks at them, they are straight up. I'm so glad they didn't do that because I've seen that in football matches and it makes me feel a bit sick.
It does like draw your eye to it, doesn't it? Yeah, I know
what you mean. An upright bottle of Prime in the ring all the time. That would... don't like it. As well as reacting to the news about spilling Prime all over the wrestling ring, he also revealed a big piece of business, not that kind of business, that is happening beyond WrestleMania, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Logan Paul revealed that SummerSlam 2024 will emanate from the Cleveland Browns Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio on Saturday, August the 3rd. Paul said he was honored to make the announcement as he'd grown up there and wants to make SummerSlam the biggest event Cleveland has ever seen, despite not having an opponent for it yet. Now, obviously, the last time SummerSlam was in Cleveland was in 1996 and was headlined, I think, by a banger match. Maybe the ending was a bit overbooked, but I think it was very, very good. Shawn Michaels defending the WWF Championship against Vader in the Gund Arena. That venue now, the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, which will pay host to the SummerSlam Go Home edition of SmackDown in August too.
So they'll be at the former Gund Arena on the Friday, and then they'll be at the Cleveland Browns on Saturday. As part of this announcement, Logan Paul made some massive proclamations of what he wants to do. He very much wants to manifest destiny here. He said he wants to bring Jake Paul, his brother, and Machine Gun Kelly to SummerSlam before throwing out, with the help of his co-host on Impulsive, a semi-serious challenge for a match against NBA basketball star LeBron James. Something that KSI, who sat next to him, seemed quite into as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
KSI, by the way, on that podcast calls himself the Shane McMahon of WWE now.
Oh, really?
Every time he turns up, he gets beaten up.
Yes, yeah.
But Logan Paul kind of with some help throwing out a challenge to LeBron James for SummerSlam. Triple H tweeted following the announcement saying, "We've got big plans for SummerSlam's big return to Cleveland this year," but told Logan Paul that he needed to iron out some of the plans before iron out some of the detail before going any further. So I think Triple H heard that and went, "All right, well let's talk about this."
Yeah, maybe not LeBron.
Hang on, let's see what the budget's like before we book all of that. They'll go big with SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, they will. It feels like now more than ever they're just really ramping up everything, doesn't it? In terms of like the branding stuff, in terms of like the more cross promotion with the UFC stuff as well. It just feels like it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the months go on.
It's amazing. Anything you want to plug?
I've got nothing to plug. I don't believe at the moment.
Plug your lovely face.
How have you got anything to plug instead? I'll plug what you're plugging.
I spoke to a wrestler who has had words of wisdom from Cody Rhodes and been told to calm down by Nick Gage.
Oh wow!
Not many people can say that Nick Gage has told them to calm down.
That is definitely a feat to behold.
Her name is Soraya Saber. She's in only her second year in the wrestling industry right now, and she is already smashing down barriers as a trans athlete. And we talk all about the short but brief but very exciting career that she's had so far. And she chooses 3 wrestling matches to watch while stranded on a desert island. It's a brand new desert island grabs, of course it is, and it's on the podcast feed right now. And you can get the wrestling news every morning in 10-minute audio bursts by searching Cultaholic Wrestling News on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. I'd like to once again plug Andrew's face for being lovely. And for the latest wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Kiss.
Love you, bye.
Fanny. That's a callback to earlier.